Yes, I can. I can't
Oh,
see you, but I can hear you. Lovely to see you, Ines.
oh, wait a minute. I have to get the camera on. Where is it? Mhm.
Bottom left, usually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I found it. Okay. Wait a minute. Now,
Hello.
hello, hello. Long time no see.
Yeah, good to see you. I saw you just featured in a little video from Spain.
Yes, I know, I know.
Did you see that? You were in the audience where Abs was doing the chipmunk voice.
Yeah, but I had the sun in my face, so just, but doesn't matter anyway.
Oh no, that was the testimonial one. No,
Yeah, yeah.
this is a little one, just a little like 30-second one of when we played that prank on Abs and he was talking all squeaky.
Oh, I haven't watched that one. But
I just put it up in the
no,
chat.
yeah,
Eric did another angle on it, so that was cool.
I just got back home. I've been away. I mean, I've been to see my dad. So
Uh-huh.
I just um yeah,
Hi, Laurie.
just
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. Yeah, caught me. I had to close that blind so you could see me.
Ah,
Yeah. Hey, so a couple of days ago, I went to the processor and I called first and I asked if they had bones. He said they would Thursday, and so I drove over there. It's like 30 minutes, and they had 55 gallons of bones for $5.
wow.
Yeah, so I brought and they said pick it up between 2 and 5, and so I thought, well, I want to make sure they have time to do it, but I should have gotten it sooner because it smelled just a little bit, like so I get just sat out for probably like all day. So it's like I was a little bit thinking, oh, I wonder if this is like so next time I do it, I'll get it 30 minutes before they say it's time to pick it up.
Oh, well, just get it in the freezer as quick as you can and
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
go
I had to cut up. Some of these bones were 3 feet long. And yeah, I
slow.
had to get out my sawzall and cut it in half because I wouldn't even fit in any pot I had. 3 foot, yeah, 3 foot long. I mean, that's like insane. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I made two big pots of it. One in the pressure cooker, and then one on the stove. I have a huge pot, and the one in the pressure cooker, I um, put it up yesterday, so it cooked for like 3 days, and it was way better than the one I did on the stove.
Mm.
And the bones, they disintegrated like because I thought, well, okay, so I need to suck the minerals out of the bones, and my bones are kind of hurting my feet and hands still, and um, so I was sucking them out, and I thought, wow, it's kind of crumbly, and it was like they just like disintegrated, and it was so delicious. So a few of these are like little white bones, and they have like um, like mesh around it, and those were like really good. I ate a whole bunch of bones, and I felt really really good afterwards.
Oh, cool.
Really,
Yeah.
yeah.
My missus used to eat all the bones. But anyway, just one sec. Hi, Joni. Hi, Brian. Hi, Lisa. And Gina. Hello, Gina. Joni.
Oh, good evening from Portugal, from my kitchen. I'm just gonna fry up some burgers and I will just listen to you.
Oh, cool. Well, lovely to see you. Not seen you on here before.
Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah, I thought, am I the wrong way around, actually? No. Not at all. Yeah, first of all, I was just a quiet watcher. I love your meetings. It's on one hand super hilarious, and on the other hand, it's very motivating. So this time I thought I'm gonna join you, even though, yeah, I'm busy with dinner and I have my baby waiting, but yeah, I'm here.
Okay, well, shout out if there's anything we can do.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Hey, Brian, good to see you.
hello.
Joni, how are you getting on?
I'm doing okay. Yeah. I'm not really a huge, well, I guess my knee's a little bit, well, quite a bit swollen, so I'm not really much improvement, but still just
How long's it been now?
um
Remember.
a week or so.
Oh, is that all?
Or wait, sorry, what was the question? How long has it been swollen? Or
No, no. How long have you been on the diet strict?
I think it's been at least 95 days. The last I checked, I think that was a few days ago. So I'm either maybe at 100 or so.
Okay, so
No,
that
I
that
think I've only had my fat ratios up in the last month.
right. So
So
is that knee painful? No, it's just still got some fluid.
mhm.
Okay, it'll go down.
Yeah, just yeah, definitely can't really bend it all the way, and I can just feel. I'm glad it's not painful. Very glad it's not painful, but yeah, it's definitely pretty swollen.
Keep it going through the range of movement every day that's comfortable. That was something I didn't do, and I regret it, because you got to keep
Yeah.
that synovium nice and stretched and supple. And, don't force it so it hurts, but just through its natural range of movement. Because
Hmm.
I remember, I could still touch my heel to my arse when it was very, very big and full of fluid. But now, after the years of not getting it quite right, it doesn't bend enough, and it's my own fault. So keep it moving, and it should be fine if you stay strict. It should be cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just yeah, kind of do as much as I can with it. Just yeah, movement wise. And I think I mean I don't know if you're getting started on questions or anything, but one of the questions that I was gonna ask, because I don't know if anybody else in here has been on medication or immunosuppressants much for any of their stuff, but I guess I haven't really heard about a lot of people who have been on medication and had it work fairly well for them, only to come off and then kind of have their body go through all the inflammation that they never got to do all on a carnivore diet. So it just makes me a little bit nervous that I'm, not just seeing like a linear progression of positive results.
Well, it's just when you've been on meds, it takes a little bit longer, that's all. The body has to remember what it was doing because these things shut down the inflammatory pathways. So they've got to wake up again and do a little bit of work, and then you'll be fine, honestly. It'll be cool. It's just
Yeah.
I've been on this, somebody tagged me in this group, 90,000 strong rheumatoid arthritis group. Oh my God, the attacks I got. It was horrendous. I put up an actual post and it was, it's so sad because they're all suffering. They've all got on their meds. They've all got horrible side effects. They're all putting up pics of their swollen joints and going on about fatigue, and then it's leading to this other autoimmune condition and that. And you can tell them, but they get very, very angry, like vegans. And then finally, if anybody can see my Facebook, I got this beautiful message of like, you're an angel, and I've been on this diet, for 5 days, and so much has calmed down, and it was so lovely, and so I sort of put that up, but nobody's noticing it, they just want to attack, and it's really, really weird. That's why I gave up those groups about 6 years ago, but I couldn't help it when I got tagged, and I just love it if people could know about this, and just not get so angry. Even has anybody seen in the last few days or whatever, they're turning the food pyramid upside down in America.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, and then all they'll say, won't they, that RFK is an idiot. And I'll say, well, look at the previous health minister. It was that transgender person called Rachel Levine, right? And now, Google her and Google RFK with his top off. And I don't think he's right about everything, but he knows something. At 70 years old, he looks amazing. And you're like, come on, guys. He's not an idiot. So let's hope that they go a bit further with that one. But to tell everybody that, it was all carnivore, that it would be a bit much for them. I think their brains would blow up. But I see that a ribeye steak is like number one there now or something. It's it's some good news anyway.
Would you know, is he a carnivore?
No, not completely. He's carnivore with some fermented foods, which I think are unnecessary, but he looks great and, don't doesn't seem to be doing him any harm. But he has recommended carnivore. I've seen a video where he was saying that some fat guy, what are they called? Governors or something in these different states in America, and said that he's recommended a carnivore diet for him. And so, yeah, he knows. He definitely knows. But yeah, let's see if Trump slims down some, because I think he's still eating McDonald's and stuff, isn't he? But I don't know. I don't know. They're being a bit slow on the jabs, but let's see. So, Lisa, hello. Are you there?
Hey,
Hey, Lisa. How you doing?
I good. I just joined your Substack like 2 days ago, I think, and so got this email and jumped on the call.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was wondering which Lisa it was. So now I see it's a new Lisa. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm actually on the West Coast in the States, so it's Sunday morning here.
All right, cool. So how are you doing? What brought you here, apart from seeing the
Um,
email?
yeah, I've been really interested in I'm sort of transitioning over to more PKD ratios from carnivore and sort of gap style carnivore. So right now I'm still eating what I'm sure would be more protein than the true PKD, but I'm trying to kind of transition over to those ratios. I'm still doing a lot of meat stock, which I feel like really helps a lot. Yeah, and have been carnivore and carnivore-ish, let's say, since 2023.
Cool.
I just recently, in the last month, have finally gotten off all caffeine, so that's been a big uh, something I've been wanting to do for a while.
Yeah, it seems a big one for people, doesn't it? I've never understood it really, but it's the one addiction I didn't get. But I have been experimenting with it actually over the past month, just a little bit in the morning sometimes, just to see what the fuss was about. And I don't like it. I don't know what all you guys see in it. It's horrible, and it sort of gives you weird heart rate, and then you feel a bit wired. Okay, it wakes you up a bit, but give me microdose psilocybin any day. I think I think that balances it out a lot better.
I actually just listened to another podcast with that guy that does the Brain Supreme.
Yeah,
He was
Adam.
just on Robert Sykes' Keto Savage
Okay.
podcast. Super interesting guy for sure. I haven't actually ever tried the microdose psilocybin, but
Really
really
interesting guy. I
cool.
love him. And also he had somebody on his podcast talking about cannabis and was saying that most of it is just awful and you'll get horrible reaction to it because the growers are all ill and then it's all done under artificial light and all the vibe that goes into the plant is nasty. And he says he sits down and meditates every day and puts out all this love to all his mushroom grows and even out to his email list and things. So I do love Adam. He's really sweet.
That's cool. That's interesting that you say that about cannabis. Where I'm at in the States, was one of the first states to legalize recreational cannabis, and there's a lot of just long-standing grow culture here. And now they've done so much hybridization with the plants. It's
Mm.
really similar to what happened with vegetables. And the THC content is like insanely high, like 90%. They're doing all these concentrates. So it's a completely different thing now, than the original plants. So I think people are having different reactions to it now. And there are a lot of chemicals. So now not only is it's basically like concentrated chemicals with all these, fungicides and not necessarily grown um in a biodynamic way, right? Or thoughtfully.
Yeah, going out to festivals and stuff every now and again after a gig or something, there's everybody smokes it there, and somebody will pass it, and I'll say, yeah, I'll have a couple of tokes. I don't like it anymore. I'm not doing any this year whatsoever. Not even a couple of tokes. There's something wrong with it now. I just end up gibbering. I can't even talk. It's like it shouldn't be like this. It was a real sort of gentle buzz and very, very nice many years ago, like 80s when I was into it. But it just doesn't feel like a medicinal plant anymore. It feels horrible. Don't like it.
Yeah, it is. It has really changed a lot over the years. I don't even think we can get some of the good sort of OG strands anymore, that there used to be.
Yeah. No, it's no
Different.
good. What brought you to carnivore? What were you trying to reverse? Anything?
Yeah, I had real long-standing gut issues. And also I would say gut and brain, um, together. Ever since I was a little girl. So it was just sort of a long road, through many years of vegetarianism and kind of uh, took the wrong fork in the road, I guess.
So many of us did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. And how has it been? What sort of results have you had over these past couple of years?
I haven't done your course, the subtraction method, but I have found just that concept, over time, slowly and slowly, that really seems to make a whole lot of sense, right? In the beginning, I was still drinking a lot of alcohol, still eating commercial dairy. So as things have fallen away naturally, um, I would say my brain health is a lot better, and then subsequently, my gut continues to get better as well.
At what point did you give up the dairy? And what did you notice after that?
So it's been interesting because I gave up the dairy. I had done short sort of periods of time giving up the dairy, right? So, um, but it was even if I was doing like A2 dairy, it was still pasteurized to some degree, and I hadn't really sought out the raw dairy. But then hearing about the growth, just how much stronger, right, the growth hormones or the growth like factor, I actually experienced that as well because, um, dairy is so addicting, right? That I don't know if it's just the case of morphins or I just kept wanting to find a way to go back to it.
Mm.
Um, so I found this just recently, after being completely off of dairy for probably 7 or 8 months. That was the best I had felt. But then in looking at Dr. Natasha's work, she really has a strong affinity for fermented dairy. So I thought, okay, I haven't tried, raw goat's milk, let's say. So I found this woman locally who had goats on her property, got some raw goat's milk, fermented it. It was delicious, wonderful. Within probably a month, I think I gained like 8 pounds or something. And I wasn't eating huge amounts. I mean, it was like a half a cup to a cup, a day of this yogurt that I was making with this raw milk. So that was definitely an interesting experience. So I just do better without it. I tend to like once I start eating it, I tend to um just get really inflamed and then also get kind of like preoccupied with it. So better to just.
I know it's dangerous stuff, isn't it? Because it's so nice.
Oh,
But
it's so good. Especially like this goat's milk. I was doing like a 24-hour ferment on it and it was just delicious yogurt. So yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I really wanted to see what would happen with Natasha and Sophia in Spain. I'd love to see them meet and be a fly on the wall with them talking about the dairy thing.
I think about that too because there's so many things between their two approaches that are really similar, you know? Um, but then there are some very big differences, that being one of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's like Anthony Chaffee says, in comparison to what? You know, if you go onto a carnivore or GAPS diet with some dairy from a regular diet, you're going to notice so many benefits. And then you might not spot that the dairy, you know, it'd be even better without the dairy. I didn't for 4 years, first 4 years carnivore. You know, I had some butter and a little bit of cheese, but then when I gave it up, just so many benefits. So yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Zofia on that one.
Yeah, I do a lot better without it. I no, and it was actually great to because this was like the ultimate good dairy, right? It was super fresh, just like down the road for me, raw goat, and then fermenting it myself, and still then not really being able to tolerate it on a multitude of levels. So,
Yeah, it's lucky you gave it up before you grew an extra arm or something.
right?
Because you,
Well, that's actually, I mean, if I hadn't in the past, I wouldn't have been like conscientious enough to even say, okay, this is what it is, but when you get down to just meat and fat, and then you can add in these single, do these experiments, you know exactly what it is then. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So Brian, how are you doing? What's going on? Are you living on milk and beer? You're muted.
Yes, I still have a few ales, I'm afraid. I love the conversation about milk because I have raw milk all the time now, and it's fantastic. I love it. But how good it is for my little body is another matter. Yeah, still
Yeah,
mainly carnivore, other than the ale, really. It's more a social thing for me. Getting up to the pub and meeting my mates. That's it.
yeah.
And I can't sit there drinking water. I did that on my first 90-day effort, and that was tough.
I know. It's just it take not being drunk takes the edge off those pub brawls, doesn't it? They become frightening.
Well, you know the size of me. I can't risk that.
Well, I don't know. You're perfect testicle height for people. Take them
Yeah,
down. Take them
very good
down,
point.
man.
Very good point. Yeah.
So, yeah, why not, just go for a brandy or something instead if you really have to
Well, it's
drink?
another joke, Phil. I'm not a short drinker.
Yeah, all right, gotcha.
No, I don't like shorts really.
We'll put
Just
something else in it.
well, water, I suppose.
Yeah, put some fizzy water in it, some
Mm.
lime or something like that.
I could
I
try
don't
that.
know.
Not,
I just
yeah.
find that that beer is real. It's mashed grains. It's really I can't touch it. I can't go anywhere near it.
Did you used to, Phil?
Actually, not because I didn't drink for between sort of 20 years old and 55 years old.
Well, when you in your vegetarian years,
I didn't drink at all.
did you not?
And yet the doctors would ask me if I was an alcoholic because my liver was so trashed.
Oh,
And now I drink some brandy, but I'm carnivore and my liver results are perfect. So
how we do.
it just shows how bad the crunchy nut cornflakes and pita bread and rice and
Yeah.
dal and shit like that is.
All that healthy food.
All that healthy food was blowing up my
Yes.
liver. Yeah, yeah, and it's
Crazy.
fine now. I think I don't know. Haven't had it tested for a couple of years, but no. Okay, the grains, man. You've got to. What about cider then? At least
Yes, I tried cider for a while. Yes. I
it's
could
so
go back to that, but I just love the strong ales. But I
yeah,
don't know, it's just one of those things.
yeah,
My wife is convinced I'm was it wheat intolerant.
yeah. Oh, God, we all are.
Hmm. Are we?
Yeah, every human is. It's just some deal
Because
with
it's
it better than
unnatural.
others. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. We've only had it for 10,000 years or so, haven't we? And that's like a blink of an eye, if we're told.
In the grand scheme of things. Yes,
Yeah, if
depends
we're
what you
told.
believe.
If we're
Yeah.
told what's right, and but
Back in Tataria days.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I would just try it. The thing is with what you've got, it's not so obvious, is it? It's like if
No.
you've got rheumatoid or something and you do it right, the pain stops. And so it's an incentive. And if you do something wrong, the pain starts.
Yeah, I was saying to Amanda today that the thing about my condition is luckily for me, I don't get any pain with it. It's just,
Or or
go on.
unluckily, or unluckily.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Well, because
Well,
you'd
then
have,
I'll do more about it, I suppose. I'll
yeah,
give up beer.
yeah, you'd have more of an idea. You'd have more of an
Yeah.
idea quicker what's going on.
I've tried everything over the years, Phil. Can you
That's
imagine?
it. Well, what
Yeah.
about if you do anything wrong that you think might be wrong, then smash your knee with a hammer. And so it'll remind you not to do it again.
Let me write that down.
Always excellent.
I've like you, I've got a dodgy knee as well, and it's quite inflamed at the moment.
Oh, well, definitely get off the beer. For God's
You
sake,
reckon?
man.
Yeah, from tomorrow, if I go into Spoons, I'll drink cider, try cider.
Get off the beer, get off the dairy and see what happens.
Off the dairy as well.
Of course.
I have one coffee a day, and I have that with cream.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't take much.
Hmm.
It's like Lisa was saying, it just doesn't take much. And I remember I didn't have that much, it was just, oh, I don't have much, have a bit of butter on the steak. It was amazing giving it up. 2019. I will
Hmm.
still do it actually. Once in a blue moon, I'll get like some sheep's cheese or something, like once a month or something. And
Well,
then
and see how it affects you.
I'll throw half of it away. I don't really notice it now if I do that, but it's very rarely I'll do it. It's just every now and again I'll walk past the cheese thing. Well, no, every time I walk past a cheese counter, I go, mmm. And just one day a month maybe I'll just grab a bit of unpasteurized sheep's cheese and it doesn't seem to do anything. But I'm always mindful of what Sophia said, that there's long-term consequences that you don't notice short-term because you digest it so much better when it's raw.
Yeah,
So everybody thinks it's great. And the raw milk fans are as aggressive as the vegans
the vegans.
and the rheumatoid people on meds who think you're insane.
Is that what you found with raw milk drinkers?
Oh, they get really, really upset. Yeah. Yeah. One of them did.
No, we don't. No.
Well, not all of them, obviously. There's
Yes.
there's even some calm, sane vegans out there. It's not
Oh,
all of them that send me death threats.
I've never met one. They're always angry and disturbed.
No, the people who are really into raw milk, particularly the ones who push it and stuff, they do get very angry if you say that it's not good.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely. I've had some extraordinary comments. I mean, some of the ones under the interview that I did with Sophia and a little video where Brian, not Brian, because you were there as well, I think, on that one.
yeah.
Ben and I were walking around the Peak District with Sophia, and she mentioned that raw was worse than pasteurized long term.
Mm.
And I thought we got to catch this, so we just did it quickly on a camera, on a phone camera, and
You
people
paid
came up
for it,
on.
did you?
Sorry.
You paid for it, did you? With the abuse.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. They're
Mm.
they're coming up underneath going, "You're such an idiot. You're so gullible. People have healed on this, and it's the most perfect food." And I'm saying, what do you expect me to do? She's put up a different view here. You want me to punch her in the face or something? Because
Well,
she
you know
said
that's
that
not allowed.
she said that
Different
raw milk
views.
is. I'm open to anything, and it really blew me
Yeah.
away, and it was what I
Yeah.
was feeling anyway. And she made some really good points, but people get so aggressive about it. It's so funny.
Well, people have gone on raw milk diets and done really well.
Yeah, they have. But again, as Anthony
Short
says,
term?
in comparison to what?
No,
I'd
yeah.
like to see a load of people on raw milk diet and a load of people on PKD.
We need some studies, eh?
We need some studies. Where are the studies?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
No,
Yeah.
just honestly, the nearer you get to that beef, lamb, salt and
Beef.
water.
Yeah. But it is boring though.
Oh, just go and get some entertainment somewhere else. You
Yeah,
know?
spoons. Sorry for those who don't know, there's a chain of pubs in England that's called Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got one locally, so yeah.
So have I. I never go in it.
Not even for your brandies or
No,
you
no.
don't have any now, any alcohol at all.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
do you
but
have
I
again?
don't go out to a pub and do it.
Oh,
I'll just have a bit at home. Because when I go out to a pub, I need to be sober. That's the place I need to be completely sober. Because I only ever really go into pubs to go and play gigs. So
oh right, yeah, of
I
course,
have
yeah.
to play drums, and if you have too much alcohol and drums, it's a complete disaster. So
Have you got any videos?
yes, there are a couple of videos where Lydia was driving, and then she persuades me out to an open mic, and there's a couple of shameful performances there.
Oh, I'll have to find them, Phil.
No, no, I'm not even telling you where they are. Actually, they probably wouldn't be that bad because, it's kind of in muscle memory now, but I can hear it, and I think, oh dear, I should have handed the sticks to another drummer really, but they're usually more pissed than I am if they are
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But no, please, Brian,
Yeah.
I know it's difficult for you because the results are very slow and very subtle. And
Well, that's another thing with the condition. It's progressing. It's gradually getting worse and worse, and but the chances of anything really working, I think, are getting slimmer and slimmer as I get older and older.
but you've got to just really go for it. I mean, but I sent you Tanguy's.
Yes, I got that. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have a
I
chat with
will.
him.
I will
But
connect with him.
have
Yeah.
you ever talked to Zofia and really get them to check
I
you and
think
your
briefly I
bloods?
did the last time last one in Spain. I briefly did, but
No, I mean as a consult, as a
no, I haven't. No.
you really should do.
Hmm.
Honestly, please talk to Sophia
Okay.
because if anyone's seen results on this, it'll be her. I don't. I just deal with the simple autoimmunity stuff that really reverses quite easily in time.
Yes.
But
I read it all. I hear it all. Yeah.
yeah, but
But
when
my
it's nerve stuff,
yeah.
you to talk to her and actually get bloods and get her to tell you what's going on in the bloods because she can tell you what you're doing wrong from the bloods.
Wow. Yeah.
She'll
Well,
give you she'll
Leslie's
give you a proper spanking if the bloods are off. She
well,
doesn't
that's
muck
something to
about.
look forward to, isn't it? I suppose.
She doesn't muck about.
No.
You need to talk to her.
She's so softly spoken though, you wouldn't believe that.
Well, no, she's strict, but she's still softly spoken.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to think about, of course. Yeah.
Nah, she's
I
lovely.
mean, you've mentioned it before, I know, but
No, you really should do. Really.
mm.
I'm telling you, you should do. She's coming to the Ancestral Health Festival as well in England
Oh,
in
is she?
in August. Yeah.
Okay.
She's
That's
coming to,
that's up in the is it the Peak District or
no, that was the other ones that we did with Ben. No, this is down at the place where I play drums all the time and with a big marquee and gigs and fire walking and all.
Warrington? Is that Warrington?
It's Rainford, which is Merseyside,
Oh, okay.
but it's yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. And come down chat with her then if you want. But do it no, do
Yeah.
it before that. That's August.
Mm.
But I just like to get her at all these events, and she's become such a good friend and she always comes to the
Mm.
events. And I'm really blown away, that she wants to do it, that she'd come to the English one. I can understand the Spain one because it's like paradise for a week, so she always
Oh,
wants
isn't it
to come
just?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
You're having way too much fun there, Phil, I can tell.
oh God, it was, yeah. Abs was saying today that he's already planning horrendous pranks for next year. So,
I saw your video you did together. That was wild.
oh yeah, that's fun. We'll do a load of
Mm.
those. It's time there was
Mm.
something just not serious in this space,
Yeah.
without going at people, because I
Yeah.
love Bart. He's hilarious, but he is savage, isn't he? He really is.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people deserve it, don't they?
They do. But there's kind of ways of doing it in another
Yeah.
way, and I don't think there's anything wrong with what Bart does. I think he's funny,
Well, he
really
finds
funny.
people out, doesn't he? It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. Yeah.
And he really is so sweet, when
Does
he's
he?
when he's not in character, he's absolutely lovely. Yeah, he's so chilled. It's just a character.
There's something else it's hard to believe.
No, no, Bart is really sweet. Yeah, he's lovely. Really,
Ah,
really lovely guy.
okay.
Not when he's in character. He does that just to get people on his channel.
I learn something every day with you, Phil.
No, Bart's sweet. So, anybody else got any questions or things they want to chat about?
Oh, there's
Ines,
a
yes.
Yeah. Also about chronic inflammation. Could that be caused by oxalate dumping?
Mm.
Because I have an inflammation in my ear, and I think it's because of oxalate dumping. But does anyone have any experience with oxalate dumping and how to stop it?
Mm. Absolutely, yes. I had, horrible kidney stone 3 months into going keto, about 2012, and another one in 2022. And it can take that long to get them out. they come out in waves and hopefully less and less in time. If you don't have, if you're not a stone former, then you're okay, pretty much. But there are ways of getting it out without it being so much of an issue. If you do Sally K. Norton's protocol, have you looked into
I've
she
got
does?
I've got her book, and I read it from beginning to the end. But it's not really. I mean, she does say you can do. There is a trigger and there's a maintenance dose, and that you should do low amount of oxalates, like 50 to 100 max a day. So I've been drinking a cup of black tea, and I've been eating dark two pieces of dark chocolate. But I don't know how many days. I've done it now for a week, but I'm not sure. Do I have to do it for a month, or for how long do I need to do it?
It's not so much that. That's for calming down really big flares of oxalate dumping. And it is if you do the sort of black tea or dark chocolate thing and the symptoms calm down, then it's a way of telling if it's definitely oxalates. But it's more her protocol with the citrates. Now, I've talked to Sophia about this, and she goes, "It's all nonsense. So all you need to do is to go carnivore. Everything sorts itself out." But I don't know. I would listen to Sally as well because she really does know what she's on about. And they do have, she does have in one chapter, it's like in one of the last three chapters or something. She has this whole thing about magnesium citrate, potassium citrate, and calcium citrate, I think,
Yeah.
and how to take that to bind to the oxalates to get them to come out without causing so many symptoms. That will really help for symptoms like rashes and styes and that kind of thing. It won't really help with kidney stones if they're already formed. They've just got to come out. You know, I don't think I've not really seen anyone shrink down stones when they're already there in the kidney or the ureter. But if you're not getting that, then you're very lucky. Remember the last time I had it, honestly, the pain, the kids were saying, "Is daddy going to die?" You know, I was just rolling around the floor. The pain is unbelievable. But I got that one out on my own. At least I didn't have to have a laser up my old chap and have it lasered out like last time. That was horrible. But no, if you're not forming stones and you've just got things like that. But the thing, so you've got something going on in your ear, have you?
Yes, I used to have a chronic infection, and I had an operation. So the eardrum is not really 100%.
Right.
And Sally says it always goes to your weakest spot.
Yeah, yeah.
If the body wants to eliminate the oxalates, they try to find the weakest spot. And that's why it starts. Yeah, it starts playing up, and it's moist and seeping, and it just bugs me, and I don't know if it's a real inflammation, but I can't think of it. Why after 2.5 years on carnivore, why should I get it now? Because I didn't have any issues for the last 20 years. And now after being on carnivore, I get an ear infection and it doesn't want to go away. So that makes me really wonder. And I'm not doing dairy because I know that dairy makes you congested, and and has the growth hormones, makes you inflamed. I'm doing beef and lamb and broth and salt. I also cut out the eggs and I cut out the bacon. So I don't know how much stricter I can go.
No, I think this oxalate thing really throws a spanner in the works because thinking about it now, and I hadn't actually timed it at the same time, but when it was coming up to that last kidney stone in 2022, for about a year, on and off, I had basically probably what's called otitis, right? Which is that inflammation in the ear and it hurts and it's flaky and you get sort of flaky skin coming out of your ear and it was horrible. And I'd never had anything like that before, but that is a typical oxalate thing. And
Okay.
then there was the kidney stone. And
Mm-hmm.
I said to Sally when she was on my podcast, I said, like, it's 8 years after I've had any oxalates, really. And she said, no, it's common. It can take decades to get these things out. And they do tend to come in waves. I don't know what it is when the body decides to dump oxalates in a particular time frame. I don't know why, and don't think Sally does. I don't think anybody does.
Mm,
But
mm.
they're an absolutely horrific plant toxin and can cause horrendous problems. And that the otitis and then the kidney stone was the least of my problems because then that winter I was worse than I was back in 2010, 2011. It was suicidal pain and I lost 45 pounds and it was, I went on Anthony's channel and talked about it like this, really skinny, and people going, you can't go on camera looking like that. I'm going, no, I've got to talk to people about it. I want to be honest even when things go wrong. And that was agony. And I hadn't had a flare for like 8 years. And then suddenly I had this thing where, Lydia, my friend who, organizes events with me, and she thought I was going to die. I was really that skinny, and I took the bloods, and the doc said, yeah, you probably got cancer. You need to get off to oncology. And I thought, sod that. I just got the results and sent them to Zofia. When I get in that much trouble, there's one person I want to talk to, and that's Zofia. Hey, Leslie. Hi.
And how else could you find out about, yeah, just about, I need to do the blood works, and then I could find out if it's really an inflammation or if it's oxalates or if it's both.
You can still only really guess. I don't know exactly how to be sure that it's oxalates.
Mm, mm.
There are certain warning signs if you're dumping them, like you get cloudy pee, that kind of thing. You get pain, UTIs, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes D-mannose sugar can really help with that. There's a few things, but it's such a young science, and nobody's really looked into it much. And so it's very difficult from blood work, I think, to tell. I don't know if there's a test. Does anybody know? Is there a blood test for oxalates? I don't know. And what
I
they've been.
I don't know
Joni,
for sure. I'd have to look back, but I did a blood test maybe almost about a year ago now with a functional doctor, and I don't remember what it was called or I'd have to look, but it was like a huge test. I paid quite a bit for it, but it did test my oxalate levels because it told me that my oxalate levels were really, really high, and I think it was from a urine test.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is I'm pretty sure that you can test the oxalic acid in the urine. So
yeah.
if it was a
Yeah, and I wasn't like oxalate dumping at that point. I don't think it was just from my normal diet at the time. So I didn't really know what to expect. I just noticed that my results were like insanely high for oxalates. So
Mm.
And what did you do?
it was a urine test. I could
No, I mean for against the oxalates. What did you take?
oh
Pills?
well, after that, I just cut back on kind of about like half of the things I was eating or consuming, mostly like almond related stuff that had oxalates in it. I didn't really notice a big difference at the time just because I was still eating other things with oxalates in them. And I don't know where now I'm carnivore now if I'm having some oxalate dumping issues. I haven't really had any like rashes or things like that, but I have rheumatoid arthritis, so or I'm still having like joint issues. I don't know if some of that is related to oxalate dumping or not. So I'm hesitant to experiment because I don't really want to add any plants back in. I'd almost rather just ride it out, but it would be, I mean, I'm kind of similar. It'd be helpful to know exactly what's causing some extra inflammation.
Um,
for for Sally's as far as like Sally's oxalate protocols, the thing that I thought worked the best personally was just a little bit of lemon juice. I would just put some lemon juice in some warm water, like a quarter of a lemon or a half a lemon if I felt like I was really in a flare. And that has worked the best for me, I think. So I'll keep a lemon around. I do it, but I've also noticed that if I do that all the time, then it will almost provoke having more of a flare. So I'll keep it sort of for when I think that I really need it, and then I'll stop.
it was
Okay.
it was funny. I've heard good reports about this lemon juice and things, and I was at the time when I had that kidney stone, and I was talking to Zofia about it as well, and I said, yeah, what about this all this citrate thing? and I'm trying the lemon juice, seeing if I can sort of shrink it down so it'll come out. And she said, lemon juice, that'll give you kidney stones. You know what she's like. So it's absolute nonsense. But then again, you got to listen to things. But I'm going to put in the chat here. Um, where's the chat? Right. I'm going to put this thing from Sally's website. It's just sallyknorton.com/symptoms if anyone's listening to this and doesn't see it. But it says here medical tests for oxalates are rarely used. When they are, they're often performed incorrectly, and these tests can be extremely invasive, inconclusive, or both. Urinary oxalate, for example, is rarely measured at all. When it is measured, it's tested badly, mostly often due to inadequate preparation and handling of urine samples prior to the chemical analysis. The same holds true for testing other issues, blood, skin, and bone. And so, you know, if you have a look at this page, it is, it is probably every symptom under the sun can be attributed to oxalates, whether going in or coming out. And I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? I just don't know. But if you have a look at that page, you can see what might be going on. And, I don't think there's anybody better really on that than Sally. So it's a mystery. So I have to be vague on that one because I would love to know and give everybody advice on oxalates. But God, it's a sort of black art, really, isn't it? I don't know.
Bill, sorry,
Yes.
I have this question's quick. I have to go in just about 10 minutes or so, but I was curious because I about like carbonated water, like San Pellegrino or something that's just mineral water, carbon dioxide, if that's what your thoughts are on that. I know a lot of carnivores, even like strict, just meat, salt, and water will drink those. I love them. It's kind of like the only treat, in a
Well,
way it feels right
yeah.
now. Um, but I also saw a post recently where somebody was talking about like leaky gut and constantly drinking carbonated water and that it can disrupt the gut or like over time make it worse or just keep it leaky. So I'm kind of in an experiment to maybe like not drink some for a while just to see if that helps me at all. So I just wanted to know what your thoughts or if anybody else has had any ex experience or thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think again, fizzy water is quite addictive. And I never drank it in my life really before because if I had something fizzy, it was a Coca-Cola or something, and then you just drink water. But I think there's a couple of problems with carbonated water. It's quite addictive. So I find that if I drink the fizzy stuff, I'll drink twice as much as if I drink the still stuff. And then you are still putting in too much hydration. Well, it's not even hydration, it's just, extra deuterium. So it's messing around the mitochondria. The best hydration comes from animal fats, where the body creates its own deuterium depleted water within the cell. So the best way to hydrate is that, and any extra water should probably be still. And I keep meaning to do it, but I have to say I still drink fizzy most of the time because I like it. But I don't think it's optimal. And I think there's also something that Stephen Thomas was on about with it, where something to do with it, putting too much carbon dioxide into the body and forcing it in there is not a good idea. So I think it's a real small thing. I think if you're healthy and you're on a good carnivore diet and you drink some fizzy water, you probably wouldn't notice it. Most people would say, hey, it's a tiny thing. But while you're healing, it's worth experimenting with. I think for me, the main thing about it is over drinking of water. So I definitely, even just gulping it down, you get a bottle of still water and drink it, and you go like, yeah, that's enough. Fizzy water, it's like, that's really nice. And you keep on glugging it. And so that's my main problem with it. I think it just makes you drink too much. It's the dairy of water. Anyone else got any thoughts on fizzy water? Not fizzy beer, Brian.
No, well, I love fizzy water. I've got a carbonator, so that's mainly all
Yeah.
I drink,
Yeah, me
really.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We usually just buy it. I'm too lazy to even use the distiller and the carbonator. So we spend way too much money going down the cash and carry or, and getting getting a load of glass bottled fizzy water and still water. My daughter won't drink fizzy, and my son won't drink. Yeah,
That's strange.
yeah.
On the subject of water, when you have lunch or dinner, do you drink water straight with your meal, or do you wait 10 minutes before or after? Or did?
I drink when I'm thirsty, and quite often it's with a meal, but that's usually a sign that I'm not hungry enough. You know, if you're really hungry, has anyone else found this? If you're really hungry, you just tear into your food and you don't think about water. But if you're not quite hungry enough, you think, oh, I'm a bit thirsty after a few mouthfuls. That's what I find anyway. So, you know, it goes back to that thing of hunger means hunt and not eat.
Yeah, I've
So,
heard it would dilute your stomach acid.
yeah, it can do. Yeah. I think if you've got really good digestion and good gut integrity, I don't think it's either here nor there. But unless you're drinking tons of it. But Sophia said it as well. You know, when I was really sick that winter, she said, do not drink around your meal times. You need to be absorbing everything. But so, yeah, again, a strictness that is very good when you're healing the gut. Definitely. Yeah. Cool. Did you have anything else, Joni, if you've got to jump off?
Not necessarily. I'll just say the one thing on my mind, like I said, kind of at the beginning, is I think the main thing that's just confusing, I don't know if it's confusing to me, but I just think about it a lot is the fact that since I've been on medication for so long, it's kind of making my carnivore journey not as smooth as me, people who haven't been or whose immune systems have been able to override medication. Like I said, fortunately, mine was able to keep it under control. I just didn't want to, keep living a life reliant on it. But I think it would be cool if someone like, Sophia or Anthony or, you or someone else was able to get to do a talk or a podcast or something on kind of the science behind that. Because I think I feel a little bit alone. Not, being like, oh, I'm 90 days and I'm, doing great and everything's better. Because for me, it's been slower. And so it's a little bit hard to feel confident in it just because of my history on being on medication. So
I know, and it's a really good idea. And if I could, Sophia's just not doing podcasts at the moment, but I really like that. I really like that idea to do
yeah, because
that,
there's
to give people confidence.
another
Love to do it.
lady. I don't know what her last name is, but her YouTube channel is Carnivore Coach Sylvia, and she had rheumatoid arthritis, didn't take medication or anything, but she did PKD and went through paleo medicina for her protocol, and now I think she's doing great. And she is the only other person aside from you that I've heard really mention that if you've been on medication for a long time, it can take you a lot longer to recover on a carnivore diet, but her videos are pretty short, so she still doesn't go into why. And I was looking at the comments and so many people are like, can you elaborate on this? Can you explain this? Like, why is that the case? I would like to, hear something more, because I think it would be helpful. I mean, I can't imagine I'm the only person out there,
No,
you know, in my situation. So I think that would just be if there's any way to put feelers out there for a conversation like that, I think that'd be really cool.
that would be cool. I think, you know, I can't go into the biochemical pathways of it. I don't really have that knowledge. I'm not sure anybody does really, but I think the thing is just to think of it that these things are really toxic, these meds. Plants are really toxic, meds are really toxic, and the body takes quite a while to clear them out. Now, the liver is the main thing that clears them out. The better your liver is functioning, the quicker it's going to sort these things out. And so, you know, all I can do is suggest the thing that all the other carnivores give me a slap for and say, try a liver flush and see if it speeds it up. You know, it really seems to work sometimes and does speed up the process because you're only going to clear these toxins as well as your liver can clear them. And the liver will be functioning not so well, and so it'll be slower at clearing things because it's trying to clear itself as well as the rest of the body. So if you can get the stuff out of the liver and get the liver really working, that could really be a game changer. I've seen it happen. And that's something that Zofia will actually look at me and give me probably a punch in the face for. So it never suggests anything like that. But yeah, I have seen it really work, you know. It's like Eris,
Yeah.
who's in Spain, who did the sound in Spain, and a great friend of mine does my podcast and things, and he could not digest fats. He was having real trouble with it. And then the first time I saw him was getting walking around the pool in Spain, and he came running round. He gave me a hug, and he said, "One liver flush, and now I have no problem digesting fat." Now that's unusual that it works that quick. It usually takes a few, but that was amazing, and I've seen things like this. So it can, and the liver is obviously, and the gallbladder are, you know, they're the ones that are putting the bile in to help you digest fats. So yeah, a clean liver, it's going to work better, but meds block up the liver, plants block up the liver.
And I'm sure you've had this question before on the liver flush, but since you're doing things like the olive oil and the apple cider vinegar, obviously it's not technically carnivore, but like you were saying, you kind of do what you got to do. Do you see that causing a lot of issues for people, like in just that since it's not carnivore, or
Yeah.
does the liver flush kind of override the potential negative effects of those things? Or
I
can it
don't,
like back it all?
I don't think the olive oil and the grapefruit juice mix does any particular harm, but I think the Epsom salts are not very good for the gut. But again, you do that to open up the bile ducts. If you just do one hit of it once, it's not a cumulative effect, and it's going to be fine. You never do it more than once a month. And so, no, I think the benefits outweigh the downsides. I've not seen anybody have an actual flare after a liver flush, but yeah, you can have terrible, as we call it, Armageddon problems.
Yeah.
It can be absolute chaos on the bottom. So don't plan
Yeah.
anything for the next day. At
Well,
least,
I think next week is a new moon next weekend.
yeah.
So that's my plan. So
It's worth a try. I don't think it'll cause a flare. I've done 60 of them. I've never found it to cause a flare. In fact, when I didn't know how to eat right, I found that was the 3 or 4 days after the liver flush where I had no symptoms. It was really nice. I'd look forward to it every month. So I've not seen it cause a flare. I wouldn't say it couldn't. I mean, it can bring out all sorts of things, emotional issues or sort of trapped emotions that you get in the liver and things. I mean, it's amazing. I've heard of people sort of having sort of trips after it, you know. Anyway, Laurie, say you've put some things up here. Let's have a look.
Yeah. I'll just yeah. So there's a Dr. Joseph, and he talks about getting off the SSRIs. I assume that's what you're on, and he's got a really good set of YouTube videos. I was watching them, and also Michaela Peterson. She was on the same thing. She got off of that SSRIs and the other meds, and she said the SSRIs were the toughest thing to get off, and if you do it too quick, then you have horrific side effects.
yeah, well, fortunately for me, I wasn't on SSRIs a little short period of time. I didn't have any issue getting off of them, but I was on methotrexate for over 10 years or about 10 years. And like I said, it worked really well for me, which was great. But then I got to a point where new issues started to arise and I just didn't feel comfortable relying on it. So I'm sure it's a similar process, but I think my body's inflammation is catching up to me a little bit just
Uh,
from being in for so long.
It is. Hang in there. I mean, what I used to do was when I did have those flares, I'd do the cold baths. I know they're no fun, but it quite exhilarating afterwards. But when I couldn't take the pain, as I often say, I used to really limp into the bathroom and kind of dance out. 10 minutes later, it doesn't take much, just up to the shiver point, and that's it. And it really can calm down those flares, and in a natural way that isn't shutting down inflammation pathways from inside and ruining the whole biochemistry. So, methotrexate for 10 years, Joni. I know. I wish I could just I wish I could just go ping and just take it all out of you, you know? But it's something you'll have to ride out. But I tell you what, you know, in time, when I look back at those 3 years where I didn't get it right and I was in real pain on and off, and when you actually look back at it, it just seems like nothing. You know, I don't have trauma from it. I don't know anything like that. I just kind of look back and go, well, you know, I learned a hell of a lot during that time. And you're going to learn a hell of a lot, you know, going through it and having done what you've done with your history. Our healing journeys are all different. And you're going to be able to teach people so much from this, you know. So it's this is how it gets passed on. I just, you know, try the liver flushing, see if you can clear that liver and get it working quicker. I don't know.
I will. Thank you. I have hope. There's too many good stories out there to
Well,
not.
be assured that it's the best thing you can be doing because, you know, to come back to it, that beef, lamb, fatty beef and lamb gives you everything you need and nothing you don't. And so even if it's not calming down as quickly as it does with other people, there isn't anything you could really do better with diet. That sounds really kind of dogmatic and close-minded, but when you look at it in that way, that fatty beef and lamb, that, you know, everything else has a certain problem with it. That doesn't have any problems at all, unless you really overeat the protein and don't, you know, don't have the fat ratio right. But that's it, you know. That's the confidence you need. And nobody can argue with that. You know, nobody can come along and go, oh no, there is something in this. I mean, you know, chemically, nutrition wise, gives you everything you need and nothing you don't. And that's all I think about when I have sort of desperate times. I don't, you know, that winter of 2022, I never thought I'm going to do something else. I'm going to put a sweet potato in, or I'm going to do that. I never thought that. And it went on and it was brutal. And it was 3 months. And I thought, my God, what's happening? You know? And I was really strict. But then it went, you know, 3, 4 months where it was 3, 4 years before. So have confidence and we've just poisoned ourselves so much. It can take a long while for the body to go. And remember that thing, you know, one of the things, you know, much as we've butted heads badly, me and Dr. Jeremy Ayres, he is very, very clever guy and he's seen a lot of people turn things round. And his guide, I thought it was very, very interesting that and quite accurate that if you do everything right, bargain on 1 month for every year you've been sick. And that's not to say you won't have benefits in the meantime. It doesn't, you know, you're not in agony and then it switches off after 10 months or something. But if you've been on methotrexate 10 months, 10 years rather, maybe 10 months, maybe less with it because he didn't have people on a carnivore diet. So maybe less than that. And with some liver flushing to clear out the liver, that's your doctor. That's the one that's clearing out for you. So I just want you to see, just really have that confidence, you know.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Thank you. I've got a
And
good one.
please, you know, message me or anything. You're not alone in this journey. I often think about you, you know, there and getting worried about this and that. Please just message me or anything anytime, please.
Well, hopefully the next meeting or so I can hopefully have done a liver flush. Maybe give some updates. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, so
Okay, I better make sure that it's not on the day that people are doing liver flushes. Don't do a meeting on the new moon, or everybody will be on Zoom on commodes and stuff. Everybody on silent as well. Oh God. Yeah. So listen, I'm really liking these calls now. There's more people coming on. For people who are actual paid members, I just think I'm going to do them all for free now. And it's going to be voluntary. If you want to give me like $9 a month or something and stick that in, that's going to be voluntary and a year thing. If anybody's already paying, you can shut it off. You can, I just want to help more people, you know. I don't make really anything out of these things anyway, so it's hardly worth doing it for just the paid people. There's not too many that it gets to be chaos. There's just enough, and I'd really just love to get these more active and be able to share them and things. So, you know, if you're a paid subscriber, it's going to go down, or if you're not, you'll still get the calls. I just want these to, get populated and help people. So there we go. That's what I've decided about my Substack. Anyway, see what terrible businessman I am.
Hey, can I make a comment?
Yeah, I've got to leg it quite soon though, because I've got to pick my son up from Taekwondo because my missus is working till late today. So
Okay.
I've got to go in a little bit.
All right. Well, there's on our last uh, podcast Zoom thing we had, you were talking about Mimi Morgan, and I looked her up, and she was amazing. This is a result of the conversation with Tan Guy, and she had Parkinson's and rheumatoid arthritis, and she had quite a journey, and she had to sell her house because the doctors said she wasn't going to be able to walk up the stairs, so she sold her house and moved, and now she goes to the stairs, and she has a kettlebell, and she runs up and down those stairs just to kind of prove that doctor wrong, and she's doing like get ready to do like some big athletic event, like some sort of a marathonish type thing. I'm not sure what it was, and she just eats meat, water, bone broth, and she looks like she's half her age than she was, and so smart and healthy, and her nerve damage was repaired. So thank you for telling us to watch her on that last meeting. That was very inspirational.
You've got me there, Laurie. I'm going to have to watch that because it wasn't from me. It might have been from Tangi. So I'm not sure. Never heard of her.
Oh, I think it was someone in the audience last time.
Cool. Okay.
But I watched the short, and then from there I saw the Anthony Chafee, and then there was another carnivore person that interviewed her. So I watched most of that, and I was like, wow, that was so inspirational. Mimi Morgan. And
cool. Check it out.
Oh, that'd blow you away. Nerve damage healed. Yeah,
That's very cool. Very cool. So before I go, can I just say a quick hello? You've just joined iPad Van, and then I'm so sorry, I'm terrible at those kind of Dutch names. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but I just wanted to say hello. And I think maybe you got the 1 hour out of the time because you joined at 7 UK time. Are you there? Do you want to say a quick hello? And hello. Nope. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, listen, I've got to leg it, go and get my son and see if he's kicked anyone's head off at Taekwondo. And so
Good to meet you guys. Thanks so
you
much.
too, Lisa. Great and lovely to see you, Gina, and some old faces and Ines popping up. It's cool. Lovely. So do jump on next week if you want. And oh no. Listen, next week I can't do it. I've got a long rehearsal all day over at Darren's place, auditioning the new bass player for the Daz Band, which is not even going to be called the Daz Band around the festivals next year. So I've got a huge long day miles away next week. So it won't be next week, but the week after. But
Less of the old faces, Phil.
Cool. All right, guys.
Bye,
Yes,
everyone.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
You're
you.
so welcome. Thank you for
Bye.
coming on. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.